The people of North Korea are subjected to unimaginable hardships every single day. From the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep, their lives are governed by an oppressive regime that leaves no room for personal freedom or expression. The daily grind is not just about survival, but about navigating a labyrinth of state-imposed restrictions and constant surveillance. These are not the words of a politician or a journalist, but a stark reality confirmed by countless testimonies from North Korean defectors. These brave individuals risk everything to escape, often leaving behind family and friends, to tell the world about the horrors they have endured. Their stories are harrowing, filled with tales of starvation, forced labor, and brutal punishment for the slightest dissent. This isolated nation, shrouded in secrecy, has consistently ranked among the worst places to live due to its egregious human rights violations and the oppressive regime that holds its citizens captive. The government uses propaganda to create an illusion of prosperity and strength, but the reality is far bleaker. The military parades and grandiose billboards are mere facades, hiding the suffering of millions. Imagine a life where every aspect of your existence, from the clothes you wear to the words you speak, is dictated by the state. Education is not a means to enlightenment, but a tool for indoctrination. Children are taught to revere the Kim dynasty from a young age, and any deviation from the state-approved curriculum is met with severe consequences. The traditional clothing you see is not just a cultural artifact, but a symbol of conformity enforced by the regime. This is the grim reality for millions in North Korea, where the Kim dynasty has maintained an iron grip on power for over 7 decades, perpetuating a climate of fear and repression. Kim Jong-un, like his father and grandfather before him, uses a combination of propaganda, military might, and brutal repression to maintain control. Public events are carefully orchestrated to display loyalty and unity, but beneath the surface lies a society gripped by fear. The stories that trickle out from this secretive state paint a harrowing picture of a population trapped in a cycle of poverty, surveillance, and fear. In the countryside, people toil in the fields under the watchful eyes of government agents, struggling to eke out a living from the land. In the cities, surveillance cameras and informants are everywhere, creating an atmosphere of pervasive mistrust. Even a casual conversation can lead to imprisonment if it is deemed subversive. The absence of basic freedoms, coupled with the constant threat of punishment for even the slightest transgression, creates an environment of pervasive anxiety and distrust. Prison camps, known as kwanliso, are filled with those who have dared to defy the regime, often for reasons as trivial as listening to foreign radio broadcasts or criticizing the government in private. These camps are places of unimaginable suffering, where prisoners are subjected to forced labor, torture, and starvation. The world watches, often with a sense of disbelief and helplessness, as the North Korean people navigate a life stripped of its most fundamental rights. International organizations and human rights groups have repeatedly condemned the regime, but meaningful change remains elusive. Sanctions and diplomatic efforts have done little to alleviate the suffering of the North Korean people, who continue to endure unimaginable hardships. Their struggle for survival, for a sliver of hope amidst the darkness, is a testament to the indomitable spirit of the human will. Despite the overwhelming odds, the people of North Korea find ways to persevere. Moments of quiet reflection, the laughter of children playing, and the simple acts of kindness between neighbors are small but powerful acts of resistance. These glimpses of humanity remind us that even in the darkest of places, the light of hope can never be fully extinguished. At the heart of North Korea's misery lies a dynasty built on personality cults and absolute control over its people. The Kim family, starting with Kim Il-sung and continuing through Kim Jong-il to the current supreme leader Kim Jong-un, has ruled with an iron fist, brooking no dissent whatsoever. The government, a totalitarian regime, exerts complete authority over every aspect of life in the country. Media, education, and even personal relationships are tightly controlled, ensuring the population remains subservient to the state's ideology. This ideology, known as Juche, espouses self-reliance and fierce nationalism, often used to justify the regime's isolationist policies and its militaristic focus. Citizens are subjected to constant propaganda, glorifying the leadership and demonizing the outside world, particularly the United States and South Korea. This systematic indoctrination, coupled with a pervasive surveillance network, effectively crushes any form of opposition. The consequences of dissent are dire, often leading to imprisonment in brutal labor camps, known as Kwanliso, where torture and starvation are commonplace. Despite the suffocating grip of the regime, whispers of dissent can be heard, echoing through the narrow alleys and hidden corners of the country. These whispers are a testament to the enduring human spirit, a spirit that refuses to be completely silenced or broken. The risks are enormous, yet some brave individuals dare to challenge the narrative, yearning for a life beyond the confines of the dictatorship. They dream of a world where they can express their thoughts freely, without the constant fear of retribution. These acts of defiance might seem small, almost insignificant, in the face of such overwhelming oppression. However, each act, no matter how minor, is a beacon of hope and a step towards change. A whispered criticism of the government, a hidden foreign radio, a smuggled book. These are acts of courage in a nation where even the slightest deviation from the approved script can have devastating consequences. The bravery required to engage in such acts cannot be overstated. In a land where surveillance is omnipresent and punishment is severe, these small acts of rebellion are monumental. They represent a refusal to accept the status quo and a desire for something better. The stories of these individuals, often shared by those who have managed to escape the regime's clutches, offer a glimmer of hope. They remind us that even in the most repressive environments, the human spirit can find ways to resist and survive. These stories are a reminder that the human spirit cannot be entirely extinguished. It continues to burn brightly, even in the darkest of places, fueled by the desire for freedom and a better life. They are a testament to the enduring desire for freedom, for a life where one can think, speak, and believe without fear. This desire is universal and unyielding, transcending borders and regimes. These acts of resistance, though often hidden from the public eye, chip away at the facade of absolute control. They are the cracks in the wall, the signs that change is possible, even if it is slow and fraught with danger. They are a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of places, the human spirit yearns for liberty. This yearning is a force that cannot be easily quelled, and it is this force that will ultimately pave the way for a brighter future. For many North Koreans, escape is the only path to freedom, a perilous journey fraught with danger at every turn. The oppressive regime leaves them with no choice but to risk everything, including their lives, to seek a better future. The decision to flee is often made in the dead of night, under the cover of darkness, when the chances of being caught are slightly lower. Families are torn apart, and individuals must summon every ounce of courage to embark on this treacherous path. The heavily guarded borders, particularly the demilitarized zone, DMZ, separating North and South Korea, are a testament to the regime's determination to keep its citizens captive. The DMZ is one of the most fortified borders in the world, with barbed wire, landmines, and armed guards patrolling day and night. The sight of the DMZ is a stark reminder of the lengths to which the regime will go to prevent its people from tasting freedom. The fear of being caught and the severe consequences that follow are enough to deter many from even attempting to escape. The journey often begins under the cover of darkness, a desperate flight through rugged terrain, often with little more than the clothes on their backs. The escapees must navigate through dense forests, steep mountains, and treacherous rivers, all while avoiding detection. The physical and mental toll of such a journey is immense, with hunger, exhaustion, and fear as constant companions. Many do not make it, succumbing to the harsh conditions or being captured along the way. Many attempt to cross the Tumen River into China, braving freezing waters and the watchful eyes of border guards. The river, which serves as a natural barrier, is both a lifeline and a deadly obstacle. In winter, the icy waters can cause hypothermia, while in summer, the strong currents can sweep people away. The border guards are ever vigilant, ready to apprehend anyone attempting to cross. Those who manage to make it to the other side often do so with nothing but sheer determination and a will to survive. Those caught face immediate repatriation and harsh punishment, often imprisonment in labor camps where torture and starvation are used to crush any hope of future escape. The conditions in these camps are inhumane, with prisoners subjected to grueling labor, beatings, and malnutrition. The regime uses these camps as a tool of fear, ensuring that the stories of those who are caught serve as a deterrent to others. The psychological trauma inflicted on the prisoners is profound, leaving scars that last a lifetime. Even reaching China doesn't guarantee safety, as North Korean refugees face the constant threat of being apprehended and sent back. In China, they live in the shadows, constantly on the move to avoid detection. The Chinese authorities, under pressure from the North Korean regime, often cooperate in repatriating defectors. The fear of being caught and sent back to face certain punishment looms large, making every day a struggle for survival. Despite the risks, many choose to stay in China, hoping to eventually find a way to a third country where they can live freely. Despite these risks, thousands have braved the perilous journey, driven by a yearning for freedom and a better life. The stories of those who have successfully escaped are a testament to the resilience and determination of the human spirit. These individuals often face numerous challenges even after reaching safety, including cultural adaptation, language barriers, and the trauma of their past experiences. However, the taste of freedom and the hope for a brighter future make all the hardships worthwhile. Their stories, often harrowing tales of survival against all odds, offer a glimpse into the desperation felt by those living under the oppressive North Korean regime. These narratives highlight the extreme measures people are willing to take to escape the clutches of tyranny. The courage and resilience displayed by these defectors are inspiring, shedding light on the human capacity for hope and perseverance, even in the darkest of times. These escapees, who have risked everything for a taste of liberty, serve as powerful witnesses to the atrocities committed within North Korea's borders. Their testimonies are not just personal accounts, but also crucial evidence of the human rights violations perpetrated by the regime. By sharing their experiences, they bring international attention to the plight of those still trapped in North Korea, advocating for change and support from the global community. Their testimonies provide invaluable insights into the true nature of the regime and the plight of its people. These accounts help to paint a comprehensive picture of life in North Korea, revealing the extent of the suffering and the lengths to which the regime will go to maintain control. The bravery of these individuals in speaking out cannot be overstated, as they risk not only their own safety, but also that of their families. Their voices are a call to action, urging the world to stand in solidarity with the people of North Korea and to work towards a future where freedom and human rights are guaranteed for all.